Hello friends, my name is Janet, and today I'll be guiding you through a yoga practice that is wonderful for relieving back pain. In addition to that, in these times during the coronavirus and all of us having some feelings about that maybe are uncomfortable, I'll be taking you through a short guided meditation at the beginning of our practice to help relieve anxiety. And then at the end of the practice, I'll take you through another meditation to help you wind down and notice how you feel. So I'd like to begin. Oh, and let me introduce my buddy, Nikki. Hi, bud. Nicholas is a part of my yoga practice. I always love having a dog nearby for comfort and assurance. Maybe you too have a pet that's going to join you for practice today. You might ask any family members or people in your household to give you just this little part of time, approximately 30 minutes, for you to practice yoga. So we're going to begin in a comfortable seated pose, which this is hero pose, and it's probably not the most comfortable to hold for 5 minutes. So I recommend a posture called easy seated pose, or Sukhasana in Sanskrit. And to get into this posture, you might incorporate props. So before we begin, gather some props, maybe 1 or even 2 blankets if you can. If you have blocks nearby, they might be helpful and useful at some point in the practice, but they're not necessary. So if you have blocks or something you use as blocks like Tupperware containers or Legos or whatever, get those ready for yourself. Put me on pause to get yourself organized, and then let's get going. So to begin, I'm going to ask you to take 1 or 2 of your blankets. The blanket is, for mine, it's folded over a few times. I'm going to fold it over one more time so that it becomes a little bit thicker, gives me a little more boost. And I'm going to place that blanket underneath my tail. Let me start sideways just so you can see the effects of the blanket. So when I'm sitting on this blanket, I want to sit a little more toward the front of the blanket. Rather have that natural lordosis curve of the low back than overstretching and slouching of the low back. So make it work for yourself. Now, if your hips are really tight, or maybe you're having some difficulties in the knees, you might need to make changes for yourself. So please feel free to do so. So one thing you could do is add an additional blanket beneath your tush, or place some blocks underneath your knees for added comfort. We're going to be sitting like this for about 4 or 5 minutes, so make it work for yourself. And when you're ready, go ahead and just come to whatever feels comfortable seated. Adjusting your legs as needed, and place your hands face down on your knees or your thighs. Now, with your eyes wide open, let me take you through a brief meditation that is wonderful for relieving anxiety. Anxiety is when we live in the past, when we're worried about the past or worried about the future. And this brief meditation is to guide you into the present moment. So the first thing I'd like you to do is look around the space that you are practicing yoga in today and notice 5 things that you can name. And you're probably alone in your living room like I am in mine. So feel free to name them out loud. And once you have named 5 things that you see right now in the room around you, close your eyes. With your eyes closed and your hands face down on your knees, take a moment to notice 4 things you can feel. What 4 things do you feel right now? And then keeping your eyes closed, what 3 things do you hear? I know you hear my voice. What 3 things do you hear? What 2 things can you smell? What is one thing that you taste in your mouth? Now, keeping your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you, place one hand on your heart and the other hand on your tummy. Notice your body breathing. Feel the movement of your hands on your body as you breathe, and see if you can't deepen your breath. Breathe more deeply, breathe more slowly. Are you breathing in and out of your nose or your mouth or both? Simply observe. Noticing your breath anchors you in the present moment. And as you deepen your breath, allow it to flow in and out of your nose if that's comfortable for you. Continue this breathing technique as best you can throughout our shared practice. Still keeping your eyes closed, bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position, right in front of your heart. Rest your thumb knuckles up against your breastbone and maybe bow your chin slightly towards your chest. And let's set an intention for our practice. A word or a phrase to help guide us through the next 30 minutes or so of yoga. My intention is to relieve back pain and reduce anxiety. Maybe that works for you today. Or if you're feeling a need to set a different intention for yourself, please do so at this time. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and fill your heart space with that intention. And then open your mouth and expel the air out. Think of your intention and breathe it into your mind, into every thought that you have. And then open your mouth and send the intention out. One more time, seal the lips and breathe the intention into every cell of your being. And then open your mouth and exhale. Come back to breathing in and out of your nose. Release your palms face down once again on your knees or thighs. Roll your shoulders down and back. And with your hands on your knees or thighs, be reminded with this connection to your body to take good care of your body today. Do only what feels right for you. Now turn your palms face up on your knees or thighs. And in this hand position, be open to receiving all of the benefits of our shared yoga practice. And then blink your eyes open and look down at your legs. We're going to send our legs out and just give them a little stretch, just moving around. Maybe you'd like to remove the blanket from beneath your seat. Please feel free to do so. So just stretching your legs out a little bit, maybe pointing and stretching, and then recross your legs once again. We'll take some gentle stretches through the body, so if you need to sit up on a blanket or block, do so. As you're here, lower your chin to your chest and take a few breaths to feel the stretch in the back of your neck. And then lift your chin up off your chest and look all the way up at the ceiling. Maybe move your jaw up and down and swivel your jaw gently side to side to loosen any tension you might feel in your neck and in your face. And then bring your gaze back to neutral. Take one arm into the air. For me, it'll be my right arm. Bend it over your head and touch the tip of your left ear. And then draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. Pause and feel the stretch through the side of your neck. If it's uncomfortable or causes pain, then soften. If it feels good, just stay with it. Take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly bring your hand to the back of your head and turn your head towards your knee, your right knee, and draw your head down at an angle. Just feeling the stretch Going down the left side of your neck, and breathe. Release your hand from behind your head, let your head float up, and let your hand float down. Let's do your second side. For me, it's the left side. Left arm reaches up, bend the elbow over your head and touch the tip of the ear, and then slide the left ear or your second ear side towards your shoulder. Do you notice if one side feels tighter than the other? No judgment, it's simply an observation. Maybe you feel this stretch go all the way down your back. I certainly do. And then carefully bring your hand to the back of your head and turn your chin towards your second knee, left knee for me, and draw your chin down at an angle. Noticing how that changes the stretch in the side of your neck. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you even watch the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. And then release your hand from behind your head. Let your head float up and your hand float down. Let's add a gentle twist. Take your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind you. It's important that you lift as you breathe in and start to turn your tummy toward the side as you breathe out. Now, if this causes low back pain, please soften out of it. If it feels good, grow taller as you breathe in and square your shoulders a little bit with the side of your mat as you exhale. One more breath in, and as you breathe out, if it feels comfortable for you, take your gaze and look behind you over your right shoulder. One more breath, inhale to find length, and exhale, twist. On your inhale, begin to unravel, come back to center. And as you exhale, go the opposite way, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Breathe in to stretch long and breathe out to turn. Now pause, this is important, especially for this class about back pain. If you're experiencing any low back discomfort, send your tummy forward, or if it feels okay, stay with it and go deeper. Breathe in, lift up, and maybe square your shoulders with the opposite side of your mat as you breathe out. And if that still feels good, the last part of the spine twisting is the neck. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, begin to look behind you over your left shoulder or your second side. Take a couple more breaths here, just one more. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. On your inhale, unravel, and as you exhale, soften. Let's change the legs, send them out in front of you. And just one more sequence for the hips. We're gonna bring the bottoms of the feet to touch and allow the knees to fall open. Pull your heels in as close to your groin as you comfortably can and keep your spine nice and long. For many of you, your knees might be high in the air, and that's okay. What is happening in your body is that you're just stretching into the inner groin area and into the hips. When we have low back pain, it often relates to tension in the hips, tightness there. So wherever you are today, just stay with it and breathe. Some of you might feel like you need a little more from this stretch. So if you do, please begin to lean forward. You can choose to keep your back nice and long with your head slightly lifted, or if you'd like, bow your chin to your chest and soften forward. Please notice what you're feeling, and if you're feeling really uncomfortable, come out of it. If it feels good, stay with it for 2 more breaths. Just breathe. And what you may notice as you breathe out, your body might go just a little bit deeper. And then inhale, rise up. Slide your feet slightly forward. The bottoms of the feet are still connected. The knees are open, and we've changed the shape of our legs, creating a little bit more of a diamond shape with the legs. Hold on to your shins or knees, whatever you can reach. Breathe in, and as you exhale, begin to hinge forward at the hips. Pause, notice, how does this feel? For my body, I get more stretch in my lower back here and in my outer hips than from the previous stretch where I felt it in my inner thighs. What do you feel in your body? Maybe it's appropriate to close your eyes and just notice how it feels. Take a couple more breaths here. Nice and easy. This is gentle yoga. No need to be forceful. It's okay to bow your chin and lower deeper. And then breathe in as you rise up. For this next stretch, I'm going to turn to the side. You can stay exactly as you are. I just want you to see this posture from its side. a seated forward fold. One of the more strenuous postures could be intense for the back, so please use care. One of the things I'd like to do is ask you perhaps to bend your knees. If you find that extending your legs creates low back discomfort or causes you to round your back a little bit and slouch back, then I'd rather you bend your knees, and I'll do it with knees bent, and that's what I wanted you to see. If it feels good, place your hands next to your seat, roll your shoulders down and back, sit up nice and tall, and then slowly start to walk your hands forward. For people with back pain and sciatica, this could be too much, so please listen to your body. Go only as far as you comfortably can stretch. What we're doing here is we're stretching out our back, but also the backs of the legs. Low back pain has a direct relationship with tight hamstrings. You may find after a few breaths that your legs get a little softer and you can go a little further. Take one more breath here. And then breathe in to rise up. Let's change positions, coming to tabletop onto your hands and knees on your yoga mat. I recommend the use of a blanket beneath your palms, and if you do have yoga blocks or you have some sort of support for your hands like books, Tupperware, or Legos, whatever you've constructed, have them nearby. I like to place a blanket beneath my knees. I'll only use one blanket myself, but some people like to place a blanket beneath their hands. If your wrists are tender, if you're working with arthritis or something in the wrist, please feel free to put a blanket underneath your hands. The two blocks can be placed at the top of your mat within arm's reach, so you don't have to do a whole lot of work to find them. The blanket would go beneath your knees, and you'd come to tabletop onto your hands and your knees. So take a moment to set yourself up, align your wrists and elbows and shoulders, spread your fingers out nice and wide, and allow the middle finger to look parallel with the outer edge of your mat. Sometimes we tend to have our hand turned out, which can put undue stress on the inner wrist, or overly turned in, which puts undue stress on the outer part of your wrist. So allow the wrist to be neutral. Let's look at the legs. Look down and back. The knees are hip distance apart. If you're not sure how far apart that is, it's usually about 2 fists right between your knees. Looking back, allow your feet to disappear behind your knees, and if your knees are tender, you might curl your toes under, see if that feels better, or leave your feet flat. We're going to move through some cow-cat stretches. In doing this, we're going to reverse the breath to how we normally would do a cow-cat. So for lower back pain, you're going to inhale to cat and exhale to cow. We'll do 10 rounds together. Let's give it a try. And if you're having a hard time synchronizing your breath, it's okay. As long as you're breathing, you're doing it right. So we're going to breathe into cat pose, pushing our back toward the ceiling like a scaredy cat on Halloween. And breathe out to cow pose, allowing a relaxation go only as far as you feel comfortable doing. Inhale to cat pose. Exhale to cow. Keep it going. Inhale to cat, breathing through your nose. Exhale to cow. Inhale cat. Exhale cow. If you need to stop, you can. Inhale cat. Exhale cow. We're halfway, 5 more rounds. Inhale cat. Exhale cow. Inhale cat. Exhale cow. Keep it going as you breathe in. Find your cat stretch. As you breathe out, relax to cow. 2 more rounds. Breathe in, stretch to cat. Breathe out, release to cow. Last round. Inhale cat. Exhale cow. Breathe in and come to a neutral tabletop position. Send your left foot to the back of the mat with your toes curled under and push your left hamstring stretch back. Heel pushes back to stretch the left hamstring. Better said. You can find stillness or move forward and back. And then come back to tabletop and let's do the right side. Send your right foot back. Toes curled under, press your heel back. Move forward and back a few times if you like to release and stretch the back of your leg. Remember, stretching the legs helps release the lower back. Let's come back to tabletop and add a gentle twist. It's called thread the needle. Place your left palm toward the center of the mat and reach your right hand high. Breathe in, and as you exhale, thread the needle, bring your right arm underneath your left. Let's do that again. Inhale, take your right arm high. Exhale, thread the needle, right arm under left. 2 more, breathe in, stretch it up. Exhale, circle down. Last time, inhale, right arm high. Exhale, right arm sweeps under the left. Come to rest on your right temple, right shoulder. You can stay here or send your left hand forward. And if anyone feels really stable, you can take your left foot back like you just did a moment ago in our hamstring stretch. Can you stay here for 5 breaths? If you feel unstable, place your knee back down. Keep breathing. You're halfway. We will mindfully release by lowering first the left knee, then place the left palm in front of your face and breathe in to reach your right hand high, and then come back down to tabletop. Ready for side 2? Here we go. Place your right palm toward the center of the mat. Take your left hand, sweep it up. As you exhale, sweep the left arm under the right. We'll do that 4 times total, 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep down. Breathe in, sweep the left hand high. Exhale, thread the needle. 1 more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, circle it under, come to resting on your left temple, left shoulder. You're here for 5 breaths, so settle in. If you made the change, extend your right arm forward and your right foot back. Settle in. I'll get into position. If you're not sure what it looks like, you can look up and see. To come out, place your right knee on the mat, right palm in front of your face, and sweep your left hand high, and then come back down to tabletop position. Let's take our left foot to the back of the mat, push your heel back, stretch it out. Then lift your left leg up, breathe in, and as you exhale, curl your knee towards your nose. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, stretch it back, and breathe out to curl it in. 1 more time. Inhale, stretch it back. And exhale, curl in tight. Breathe in to take your leg back, and as you breathe out, bring your left knee towards your left elbow and then place your left foot on the mat. Toe heel it forward to the upper left corner of the mat. And maybe bring your blocks into place, if you're using blocks, or keep your hands on the mat. It's important that your knee is behind your ankle, not beyond your ankle, and begin to push forward. Stay upright or lower down to your forearms if that feels good for you. Just breathe. Take care of your body. Be mindful that you're not dropping into the right hip. Try to square your hips. You can let your head hang heavy if that feels more relaxing to you. And then come on up to the blocks. If you're using blocks, come onto your palms, pick up the left block and toe heel your left foot to the center of the mat. You can frame the foot with your blocks or your hands and push forward, roll your shoulders down and back. When we move the hip joint area around and stretch the front, now the right side, we're going to release some of the tension and the tightness that we might get in our lower back. So I hope you feel good in these stretches. If you're not feeling comfortable, of course, you know what to do. Back off. All right, here we go. Let's stretch the hamstring of the left leg by taking our hands or our blocks back and straightening out the front leg. The more you flex your front toes back toward your nose, the more intensely you'll feel the stretch in the back of your leg. And some of you might find that you can go a little bit deeper. Take care of your body, maybe stretch down. Just take a couple breaths here, noticing what you feel in your body. Then lift your gaze, shift forward, and make your way back to tabletop. So we can do that sequence on the second side. Come to a nice stable table. Take your right foot to the back of the mat, press the heel back, and then lift the leg up. Breathe in. And as you exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Breathe in, send your right leg back, and exhale your knee to your nose. One more time, inhale, stretch back, and exhale, draw the knee toward your nose. Breathe in as the right leg kicks back, and breathe out to bring the right knee toward the right elbow, set the right foot down, and toe heel it forward to the upper right corner of your mat. You're going to bring your hands or your blocks to the inside of the right foot. Because I use blocks on side 1, I'm going to use blocks also on side 2. Even though I'm more flexible on this side, I'm going to try to keep balance in both sides of my body. So as I shift forward, I recall that I went down to my forearms. Remember what you did. Do the same thing here. Come on down if you did. Watch that you're not dropping into the left hip. Keep the hips square. Maybe your head stays lifted for this stretch, or you lower your chin toward your chest. Both are correct. Always do what feels best for you. Take another breath here. To come up onto the palms, nice and slow and steady, you'll lift the right hand or right block and toe heel the right foot to the center of your mat. And then begin to lunge forward. You want to be mindful that your knee doesn't push beyond your ankle, that the ankle is either in front of or directly beneath the knee. Lift your gaze, press your hips forward. You can see the big stretch I'm getting now in the front of my left hip, but I'm also doing some stretching in the muscles of my right hip, into the joint of my right hip. And that helps to release low back pain. Now let's take it to the counter stretch, walking the blocks back and straightening out the front leg. For me, I did not use blocks on side 1, so I'm going to take them and get rid of them for my second side and stretch down. You'll always take care of your body. If you need to modify, bend that knee a little bit. Pull your toes back towards your face. Good. And then lift up, shift forward, and come back to tabletop. We're going to change positions now, coming to lie on our back. But before we do so, I'd like to create some support for your body. So everybody's body is different. I'd like to create maybe what we would call a little bit of a blanket roll or bolster for your legs. In order to do so, you'll take 2 blankets. Let's see if I can show you how this is done. I'll lay 2 blankets out. In the yoga studio, we have lots of bolsters, but here at home, I'm using blankets. So with 2 blankets stacked one on top of the other, I can begin to roll my blankets up. And the blankets will provide support for my legs, for my knees. I'm going to place the blanket down toward the end of the mat. We'll be bringing that into place in a little while. I'm going to take my blocks and kind of get them out of the way. I'm done with those for now. And once you've created your blanket support, let me invite you to come to lying on your back with the blanket near your feet. So as you come to lying down on your back, I want you to have your feet beneath your seat, your knees in the air, for what's called supine pigeon. Such a wonderful release for the lower back. To do so, let's start by kicking the right leg into the ceiling, into the sky, bend the right knee, and place your right ankle on your left thigh. Push your right knee open, maybe lift your gaze, and thread the needle, reach through, grab the back of the left thigh. Then lay back down and pull the right knee toward you. Now we're all different, so some of you might have the left foot on the floor. That's perfectly fine, but please take care of yourself. Do what's best for you. I'm hoping we're getting a stretch in the right hip. This is truly one of the best stretches for sciatica and for low back pain release. So I know that this works, it feels good. Been practicing yoga for over 20 years, and I promise at some point I had that sciatica and low back pain, and yoga helped me heal in a natural way. So let's release that and do the second side. Ooh, maybe a little stretch in the middle, straighten out the right leg, reach it up, and then place your right foot back down. Second side, left leg lifts into the air, bend the left knee, place the left ankle over your right thigh. Lift your gaze and thread the needle, this time the left hand between the legs, meets the right hand at the back of the right leg, and then I lie back down. I'm trying to be sure that my left foot is flexed, and I want to push my left knee away from me. I'm hoping you're getting a little stretch through the left hip here. If the foot was on the mat on side 1, leave it on the mat on side 2, or if you took it deeper, please take that stretch for yourself. Continue to pull the right knee toward you if you can comfortably do so. Just enjoy the stretch. How's your breathing? Keep breathing slowly and deeply. Every exhale, long and slow, helps you relax just a little bit more. Couple more breaths here. Enjoy the stretch. To release, let go of the back of your right leg. Place your right foot down. Send your left leg up. Maybe give it a little stretch, especially if you did it on the first side. And then place your left foot on the mat. We're going to draw both knees up into your chest and take your arms out like the letter T, or maybe like goddess arms, bent 90 degrees, and let both knees drop to the left. Maybe your right hand comes to the left knee. The more you bring your knees up, the more intense the stretch. The more you lower them, the easier it is. One more layer is to turn your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. Take a couple breaths here. And then slowly unravel, draw both knees back into your chest. Arms come out and knees drop to the other direction, to the right. Maybe you take your right hand to the left thigh to draw the knees closer. The more you bring your knees up, the more intense you'll feel the stretch in your lower back. The more you allow your knees to fall low, the less intensity this will be in the twist. Be sure to turn your gaze to the left when your knees fall to the right. Take a few more breaths here. Just enjoy this gentle twist. And then slowly unravel your twist. Draw both knees into your heart. Reach up between your legs and grab your feet if you can. Some of you might grab your ankles and rock gently side to side. This posture is called Happy Baby. Maybe you can straighten your legs one at a time or not. Happy Baby reminds us that it is our birthright to find joy in life. That is a yoga philosophy, a yoga belief that we were born to be happy. So I hope our practice has made you feel good in your body as we come to resting in Shavasana. Release your feet, hug your knees into your chest, and send your feet down to look for your little blanket roll. And maybe you need to sit up to do it, but try to bring the blanket underneath your thighs, a little bit above the knee, and this will help release your lower back. If you need to add any additional props, now is the time to do so. A pillow for your head, padding for your back, whatever you need. You'll continue to lie on your back. As you lie down for the next few minutes, relaxing, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. I'd like to take you through a meditation that I learned from Tara Brach. I listen to her podcasts and I follow her and receive emails from her, and she definitely has helped to guide my yoga practice and my sense of mindfulness or connection, maintaining a feeling of acceptance and calm. The meditation is called Rain. You can look it up after class if you'd like and examine it for yourself, or let me guide you through one variation of the Rain meditation. Rain is an acronym, and the R stands for recognize. Recognize what's happening in our world right now. Recognize what's happening in your personal life. Recognize the feelings that you have, the reactions maybe or responses that you have had, and recognize what they are. The A is for allow. Allow things to be just as they are. Allow yourself to be just as you are. Rather than having a desire right now to ask things to be different, Allow in this moment life to be as it is. The I is for investigate. Investigate, how does that feel in your body? Whatever you're feeling in your body, whatever you notice, is there tension or tightness somewhere? Investigate it further. How does that belong? We absolutely are living through some difficult moments right now in time. All of us in our country and around the world. But take this to you, internalize it. What do you feel in your body? Where do you hold those feelings? And the N stands for nurture. Nurture those feelings within yourself. Like you're parenting or loving yourself as you are. Say, it's okay that I feel these feelings. They're real. They're valid. And give yourself some love and some acceptance. And now bring your awareness to your breath. Notice how your body is breathing. And maybe you place your hands on your body to feel the breath. And at any point in your life, you can pause and just feel your body breathing. When we feel anxious, our body breathes short and shallow. We can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest and healing part of our sympathetic nervous system, by simply slowing down the breath. So slowing down your breath, feel your breath flowing, and deepen the breath to help gently awaken your body. Release your hands to your sides and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Place your feet on your blanket roll and maybe push it out of the way so that you can place your feet firmly on the floor or mat beneath you. Feel the connection of your mat. Let that ground you. And then roll to the right or maybe the left side of your body. Rest on your side for a moment. And when you feel ready, press yourself up to seated. Once you arrive seated, bring your hands to prayer position in front of your heart, and perhaps you close your eyes or gaze down over your fingertips. And take a moment in gratitude for the time that you spent on your mat. I appreciate you taking this time for you. I want you to appreciate yourself for taking the time for you as well. Remember your intention. The intention I set for you today was to help relieve some anxiety and to become even more present, centered. Draw your hands up to the third eye, the space between your eyebrows. It has been an honor to guide your gentle yoga practice for back pain relief. I hope it has brought you relief, as that was definitely a part of our inspiration for practice today. From my heart to yours, Namaste. Again, thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you will subscribe and join us for more yoga practices on our channel, Free Yoga Club. Make comments, let me know what you're seeking, what classes would benefit you in this difficult time. I look forward to practicing with you soon.